In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to put a flight of nibs down the page here on a tinted box so that it looks separate from the rest of the page. The reader can see it's a different section. And we're going to put the nibs box and the copy boxes into our library that we've just created, so we don't have to draw them again for the next page. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw a tinted box down the side of the page, and to do that I'm going to go over to the left panel of tools and click on the one underneath the picture tool with the cross on it. It's called the rectangle tool. I'm going to click on that. Oops, just press cancel there. I'm just going to click on that and draw a rectangle all the way down this page so it fills that whole column. And there it is. As you can see, it's already got a 1-point border on it. But I don't confuse it with the picture box because it doesn't have a cross in the middle of it. Right, so to give that a fill, we need to go back on our top tool, our selection tool, and we need to go over to this right hand panel on the page and click colour. And here you can see I can put all different colours on the page. I can make it all different colours. So I'm going to make it, make sure I'm clicked on it. Yeah, I'm clicked on it. Make sure you're clicked on it with the top tool. I'm going to make it black, but I don't want it all black because it's too heavy. So I go up to this box here, which says opacity if you hover over it on 100%, and that will take the tint on it, make it strong, dark or light, whichever you want. So I'm going to click on the 100% and I'm just going to take it right down to say 22%, 23%. That's fine. If I want to change the colour to blue, I can do that. Or yellow, I can do that. I leave it on yellow. Okay, so that's my tinted box that I'm going to put my nibs in. Now I just need to put some text boxes in it. Now, before I do that, if I start overlaying text boxes on this tinted box might move, and I don't want it to move. So, in order to stop it moving, I go up to the menu to Object and Lock, or I can do Control L. And there you see, that puts the padlock sign on it, and it means that I can't move it. So if I accidentally, while I'm putting other text box moving and putting other text boxes on top of it, it won't move. So I'm going to draw my nibs box at the top. I'm going to click on Type tool, the big T, and I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to type in it just to give an example of some words, highlight them. If I can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to go to my zoom tool. That's right, and now I can see what I'm doing, and I can see that that box needs to come in slightly, that text box. It doesn't want to go out to the edges of the tinted box because that provides a border around it, so it just wants to come in a little bit. Back on my type tool, highlight the copy in the headline box and change it to 24 point and maybe 24 point leading, and I'm going to change the font to Arial Narrow. I can also, by using this drop down menu underneath, change it to bold if I want. I might think that leading is a little bit tight at 24. I might just put it up to 25, like that. As the font gets bigger, the leading generally needs to be bigger. You can start out with it as the same and see how you need to adjust it depending on the font and what size it is. So I'm going to use 25 here on this font. But you'll remember on this font, I kept it the same. So it does depend on what the font is as to what the leading looks like. You need to learn to judge how it looks and keep it consistent. So there I have a little headline box for my top nib. In fact, I can write in this headline box, top nib headline. Okay, and then underneath it, I'm going to draw a box for the copy. So I'm on my T tool and I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to make the top nib copy, the top nib a little bit longer than the other nibs, but I do want to fit 4, maybe 5 nibs down this column. So I have to bear that in mind when I'm drawing it. So I'm going to leave it like that for the top nib. Maybe pull it down just a little bit like that. Actually, back up a little bit further. That'll do me for my top nib. And I'm going to write in it, just put some words in it. And I'm going to make sure they're in the right font. What do I want them to be in? Do I want them to be in Times New Roman? Like that. And if I go to paragraph, if I can go up here, I can see that they're set left. I might want my nibs to be set left, or I might want them to be justified like the main copy. You can have them set left for nibs if you want. It gives them a slightly different design. I'm going to keep mine justified, so I just click that box, and that means that the copy in that box will be justified like that. So I'm going to put this in a library. So to open my library, I'm going to go to File, Open, and there's my library, Page Boxes. Open that, and it appears. That's our page lead. Oh, didn't want to do that. Just take that back out again. I'll just show colours there. And that's our, let's make it a bit bigger. That's our Page Boxes library with the elements of the page lead in it. So I want to put my top nib in. So I'm going to click on the headline, click on the box, and drag it in. So I clicked on the headline, I held shift down, and I clicked on the other box, and then I drag it in. Untitled nibs box. Okay. And then if I go out, I don't have to draw another nibs headline and another nibs box. I can just drag them in like that. Move it up a bit. Drag them in. Move it in. And drag them in. Like that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. They're not all top nibs, obviously. That's just what the headline says. So I'm just going to make them a bit smaller, some of them. And you'll change this depending on how many stories you've got. You'll change however many you put in. I'm just going to zoom in so I can see it a bit more. Like this, I'm just going to push them all up a bit. Like that, and I'm going to be able to get another one in there. I'm just going to drag it out again. Oops. And while I'm clicked on the bottom box, I'm going to pull it right up and then pull the headline box down. And put a single deck headline in here. Click on my top tool so I can bring them up to size. And you can put, if I click on that, hold down shift, click on that, I can put that in the library as well. and call that a little nibs box. Okay, so I've just put the little box in as well. The little nibs box in as well. So I've got a nibs box, a bigger one, and a little nibs box. And between those two, I should be able to design a flight of nibs like that if I want, with 4 or 5 of them. So that's the nibs done and in the library. What about the actual tinted panel? I can put that in. To do that, I have to unlock it first. So I go to unlock all on spread, and that unlocks whatever I've locked on the page. I make sure I'm clicked on it, and I drag it into the library, and I'm just going to call that tinted nibs box. And there you go, I've got all the elements of the page in the library so I can use them again quite easily. So what we're missing down here is another story. So now you can go ahead and fill that gap with another story, and you can put the elements of it into your library so that then you have a whole news page saved in your library. And in another tutorial we will look at changing the design for a different style news page. It doesn't change hugely, but there are a few different things you can do to make the pages look a bit different. And that's it for this one.